fries. John doesn't shut the fuck up.
Shut up!
Welcome to another episode of the Creature Popcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Lindsay.
Today we're doing an easy one, something that's just going to go down smooth. It's something that you and I have both seen many times, something we both have loved since we first saw it. We're going to do easily one of my favorite unappreciated gems, 1999's Stir of Echoes, adapted and directed by David Cope from the 1958 novel by Richard Matheson, A Stir of Echoes. How deep down these tunnels do you want me to go, Lindsay?
I mean, you can go down as deep as you want, Mikey.
All right,
That's
so
what
You
she
were
said.
specifically going to
That's
tell
what
us
she
about
said.
Richard Matheson.
of course. Well,
That's what she said. You can go down deep as you want to go.
Real quick, David. I'm not getting a joke here.
You're not. She said that's what she said.
Oh, great. Good job.
Thank you.
A joke that has very rarely ever been done.
I know.
I think we have to cut that part where I explained it out, just so that...
No.
Anyways, tell us about Richard Matheson.
First, I'm just going to say the director of this movie, David Cope, he's one of Hollywood's most reliable screenwriters. He wrote Jurassic Park for Spielberg. He wrote Mission Impossible for De Palma, Panic Room for David Fincher, Spider-Man for Sam Raimi, and I'm just cherry picking the stuff.
Sure.
He can make a screenplay just neat as a pen for all of these auteurs to come and get their fingerprints all over and make it their own.
Got
So
it.
as a director, he isn't quite as successful. He's done pretty bad movies like Mordecai and yeah, it was an infamous one and stuff like that. But this one he adapted because he was a big fan of Richard Matheson. And Matheson was alive long enough for him to read the script and be like, yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah.
So I think this is David Cope's crown jewel. Mm-hmm. Now, Richard Matheson is one of my heroes.
Yeah, because
of
he's
course.
even part of your pseudonym, right?
He's one of my characters' last names.
Yes.
And the Matheson last name came from Richard Matheson. He did 16 of some of the best Twilight Zones ever, including the iconic Nightmare at 20,000 feet. There's a thing on the wing of the plane one.
I hate that one.
Okay, well.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Do the
I meant
OG
it's
William,
terrifying. It's
William Shatner one or the
I don't know.
or
I just
the
know
remake
that
in 1985?
I can't tell you that. I just
Okay.
remember seeing
I believe that was Leslie Nielsen.
I just remember seeing that and being terrified of airplanes for a very long time if I
Sure.
could see the wing.
Well, then he did his job. Anyway, he adapted 5 Edgar Allan Poe stories for Roger Corman to direct, and then a bunch of his own stuff would later become movies too, like Hell House, What Dreams May Come, and my favorite, I Am Legend, which has been made into 3 wildly different movies, and not a single one has been able to stick the fucking landing yet. Jesus, it's just so important to stick the landing on that one, and they haven't done it yet. Anyway, I just wanted to give the little flowers out.
You wanted to tell us about your heroes.
Yeah, Cope, not so much. Matheson,
But Matheson,
absolutely.
Yes.
This is our second time Kevin Bacon's come to the table.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do
buddy.
you, Jamie, have you seen Stir of Echoes?
No, I have no idea what it's about.
Okay.
All right.
It's a across the plate, beautiful ghost story.
Ghost story.
Critically loved, but we got to talk about 1999
1999,
a
yeah.
little bit
Okay.
here. So this came out in September of 99, and everyone was tired because 99, you and I have talked about,
It's the year of the movie.
one of the biggest movie years of all time.
I lived at the movie theater.
Minds were blown already by The Matrix and Fight Club. This was Phantom Menace, so the first Star Wars in forever came out. We've got 10 Things I Hate About You. We've got
The
How about
Mummy.
that one?
The Mummy. And by now, like The Mummy being a horror thing, 2 movies came out before this movie that extended not just the theaters, that kind of ate this movie's lunch.
Right.
One is the Blair Witch Project, which, if you have forgotten or weren't around, was the very kind of first viral idea of like, is this movie real or not?
Right.
Found footage was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
The second movie that really took all of the air out of this one was The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
That movie was a fucking phenomenon. People went and saw it, and then the whole secondary media frenzy about it was, don't spoil The Sixth Sense. Like, everybody had to go see it because everyone was like committed to secrecy about
Right.
it.
Yeah, wasn't that nice? Wasn't that a nice collaborative moment
Right.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
everyone?
No, you
to
have
be
to go
like,
watch the movie. Don't tell
ruin
the
it.
secret.
Don't ruin it. It harkens back to
It would
to
never
Hitchcock.
make it today.
No. We ruin things for our podcast on our free time we record.
I mean, yeah, no, we do it as a hobby. So this is a spooky kid movie who talks to ghosts, kind of. And if you were going to see a spooky kid talking to ghosts, you were going to see The Sixth Sense.
The guy got hypnotized movie, just like Office Space, which also came out that year.
That's right. But this one is, like I said, Cope can write a screenplay that's just real intricate, fits together really well, and it makes for a fucking banger of a movie.
No, it was a good movie.
All right, so Lindsay, talk me into Stir of Echoes.
Okay, so it starts with just a child humming a song, and then we see the front of a house, like very Exorcist style, where it's like at the distorted.
Yeah, it's
down
the
low.
camera's down at the bottom, looking up at a Dutch angle of this kind of really pretty multifamily house. It's kind of brownstone.
It is
vibe.
It is almost row house-ish, but it's not in a row. So.
You can tell it's small, but
it's not connected.
stacked.
It's separated. Yeah.
Yeah. Downstairs is going to be like your living areas, and the upstairs are all the bedrooms, which is kind of important.
Yeah. There's a small kid. I said 4-ish, but we find out later he's 5.
He's 5.
Yeah. He's telling a story to someone while he's in the bath.
Yeah.
And
he's basically talking straight to camera.
He is. He's talking to the camera. So he's telling us a story. And Dad is in another room strumming a guitar.
Behind him. So the kid is Jake. And his little story, it's less of a story, it's more of a one-sided conversation.
It is, because we don't hear any
no,
responses.
Power Rangers.
He doesn't say Power Rangers.
He does. He does. He's
okay.
like, I was the black one. And then in the background is his father, played by Kevin Bacon. This is Tom.
Yeah. And
he's strumming on his guitar back
So the boy, Jake, he gets pulled out of the bathtub. It's time to get out. And as he's getting dried off, we find out that he wasn't actually talking to anybody. There's a wall there. Yeah. Where the camera was is an actual wall. And then he turns around as his dad had left the room for a second because he specifically asked for his certain pajamas.
Certain bug pajamas.
Bug pajamas, yeah.
Which are downstairs.
So his dad went to go get the pajamas. And he's up there. And then he turns and he looks at the camera. And he says, "Does it hurt to be dead?"
Yeah.
So we know he's talking to a ghost.
And that is when the title card should have hit, but it hit a little earlier.
It hurt earlier, yeah. So downstairs, we got Maggie and her sister Lisa, and they're hugging because Lisa just found out that Maggie's pregnant.
Right. So real quick, Maggie's played by Catherine Irby.
She is
150 episodes of Law and Order: Criminal Intent. Now that's one next to Vincent D'Onofrio. I can see that on my brain. She's done a lot of stuff, but that's her big thing.
Yes, it's the big thing.
Lisa's played by Ileana Douglas. She's done a ton of movies and TV.
She's in so many things.
She was married to Martin Scorsese for a decade, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
And I'm not going to go into her IKEA show. We'll talk about that off mic.
IKEA show.
Very, very bizarre thing.
So Dad Tom has come downstairs, and basically Lisa starts attacking him for impregnating her sister again.
Yeah, so Lisa's a real brash, kind of like, I don't know.
She has attitude toward Tom.
Confrontational.
She has attitude toward Tom. I mean, throughout the movie, you learn that she doesn't dislike Tom. She loves their relationship. But she also just fucking wants to pick on everybody around her. So
she's got a chip on her shoulder in general. I mean, we'll keep going into it, but she has many scenes in this where she's like, all these characters are cool enough. A big thing with this movie is how I identify with so much of it. These are young parents, which I wasn't, but I could imagine this. I was watching my friends slowly become this, where they're very 90s still. They're very wanting to drink and party and go to shows and be rock stars, but they got a kid now and they're all, smoking weed and being failed artists, because Lisa's very much like a kind of an artist-brained.
Perpetually in college, from what we understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Mom Maggie, she's like, say something to her husband, and he says, bummer about the pregnancy.
And he instantly regrets it.
He
but
does.
It's too late. Tom's a dick.
Yeah. So it's just another layer on telling us they're young and he's feeling hemmed in by his family.
The next scene is going to do so much work, but
how does he think the babies are getting there?
Well, that's a Lisa vibe right there.
Like literally is
she calls him a monster because his drunken semen apparently still works. And he's initially put off because he's like, you told your sister before me, and she's like, no, she took one look at me and guessed she's a witch, which is going to be a thing.
So Tom is making it better with Maggie, trying to just apologize basically, and we find out through that conversation that he's a musician. He was planning on going with a band to go, he was going to join this band or be part of this band. So like having another baby means now overtime to get money, and he can't do the band. So he's like basically.
Then he really should have taken more care to not get his wife pregnant.
Maggie's a incredibly sexual person also.
Yeah.
I'm not taking, there is fault on both sides of this scenario Maggie likes to fuck.
Yeah.
And he's probably not the most disciplined of a dude.
Also, did he talk to his wife at all about the fact that he was planning to join this band and go on?
Oh, yeah.
This conversation in the kitchen does so much for this screenplay in so little time.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to take time off this time. And she's like,
we can't afford that.
We can't afford it. He's like, I'm going to do overtime. She's like, no, you're a zombie when you do overtime. These people are
They're a unit.
They're working, and they just keep butting heads only because circumstances are hard. They're young, and they're not doing stuff exactly right. But they're both really trying.
They are trying, yeah. And then he apologized to her for being ordinary, and
That's it.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with the band is she's like, fuck, I forgot about the band. No wonder you're pissed. He's like, I'm not pissed. Everything's good. I'm too old to be fucking around with a stupid band anyway. I just want you to know that when we met, I said a bunch of stuff about how I was going places, and I don't want you to think like I fed you a line.
Right.
And she's like, I didn't like you because you were going to be famous. And he's like, I didn't want to be famous. I just didn't think I'd be so fucking ordinary.
Right.
And that is relatable to me. Relatable to me then.
I understand.
I've grown
I'm
out
not
of it
judging
now.
you.
I'm not talking about our stupid life, Lindsay.
Because I was about to say to Kevin Bacon, I was like, oh, shut up. Don't be a baby.
It's very much a dude in a time and a place who is realizing that the dream of his is going away. And you just got to fucking get with that because that is a dream that you're not going to attain.
Right. And he was like, I'm happy. I'm good.
I'm good.
And he walks out of the room. So he puts a baby monitor by Jake's bed. And then he leaves, and then we see Jake's eyes pop open, and he
goes, shh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's looking at the camera again.
So we cut to a very happening street right outside of their house. A couple of teens.
There's a block party or something across the street. Yeah.
A couple of teens are fucking around, getting in and out of a red car, and it squeals off as Maggie, Lisa, and Tom come walking down with the other baby monitor.
Sorry, I just put together that their names are Maggie and Lisa.
Yeah.
Why?
Simpsons.
Oh, that's funny. Simpsons had been on for a minute.
A while.
Point, so I don't know if that was a choice. Doing something that maybe today's audiences would balk at, but absolutely something our parents would do, which is take the other end of the baby monitor and go across the street to the party.
Yep.
And this is
I thought that was something that people did. I'm not a
when
parent,
we were growing
so
up,
I
yes.
don't know.
But I don't think they do it nowadays.
I don't know if they would think that's kosher
outside,
now.
not leaving my yard, but...
This is
it's
across
just
the street.
across the street, right?
I know.
And it's at a...
How long does it take to get back? I guess their kid's not a baby that's sleeping in a crib. Their kid's a kid that can, like...
He's 4. He's
five.
Get up.
Get up.
He can get up and turn on the stove.
And it's... I guess
He's
I'm
talking
thinking
to
more
dead
of
people,
the video... The baby monitor is just sound, right? It's not video.
It's just sound.
Yeah.
That's what I was also thinking in terms of
no
like their
video.
monitors
No,
now.
this is
So I'd be like,
1999, so
I'm like, you're
it's
across
just
the
sound.
street, you're looking at your kid, you're like, it's fine. Okay.
And there's no
retract
Wi-Fi
it.
either, so it's probably a baby monitor that doesn't
It's
fucking
just
work
radio
across
frequency.
the street.
Yeah, it's just radio
it's
frequency.
too far away.
It's a
So
little
anyway,
far away.
they walk.
I'm
into,
not a parent. I apologize.
They walk into this pretty hopping house party. It's like 30 people or so.
Yeah, it's pretty busy. And so we see the party. We see all of that stuff. People hugging Maggie for being pregnant. We see Tom outside smoking and looking at the kid just to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, he's got this cool like blue spiraling nightlight going on in there. So like you always have this color code of like where your eye, where the boy is, which is kind of cool. Outside this party, we were going to meet a couple important neighbors. Tom goes to talk to Frank. He's kind of like the neighborhood normal Chicago guy who's just like, hey, everybody, I'm the king of this neighborhood. And he kind of has this wandering eye looking at all the young girls going by. He's kind of a pervert. And then there's also Harry, which is Tom's landlord. He has several houses in this neighborhood. And him and Frank are kind of like, I don't know, the sentinels of the neighborhood. They're very Chicago. I think Harry's like either a cop or an ex-cop. He says something about he just retired or he's going to retire. Tom and Maggie pretty much just moved into Harry's house. It's just freshly renovated. And so these are like the two people, them and their wives, that they have kind of anchored themselves in this neighborhood.
Yep. One lives like 3 houses down. The other one lives across the street.
Lives across the street.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like being good shepherds of Maggie and Tom and Jake into the neighborhood.
Yep.
They're the blue collar guys. You know, they're real like smoking, beer drinking. One of them always has a hip flask of some kind of booze. Yeah. Anyway, so as the party winds down, most of the people have left.
Yes, and we're inside the house now, and we're having a small group, and they're like starting to talk about hypnosis.
Yeah, everybody's like sprawled.
And they're making fun of it and all this kind of stuff. And then Lisa's
kind of holding court, trying to convince a bunch of non-believers that hypnosis is a real thing.
Right, and this is where we find out that she's been in college for 8 years, going from subject to subject to subject, because she just doesn't have a direction in life. But she's very woo-woo. You know, her sister.
She was talking about Maggie's pregnancy and what astrological sign it's going to be. So she's very much crystals and astrology, and now it's...
So Tom basically kind of eggs her into hypnotizing him.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
He says this is bullshit, and Lisa and Tom are very antagonistic.
They are.
By nature, and Maggie's trying to get both of them to just calm the fuck down. Tom, you're drunk.
Yeah.
Lisa then goes, hey, Tom, just because you've kicked around the same 6 blocks your whole life. So that really hits Tom where he's insecure.
Yeah. And he's like, what's the worst that can happen?
Right. And he looks basically right at camera and goes, yeah, just hypnotize me. What's the worst that can happen?
So they do it. So they quiet all down, and Lisa gets in front of him, and he's in his chair. It's just like Office Space. It's hilarious.
I love the visualization of this scene.
Oh, no, I love the visual. It's so great. She's like, picture a theater. And then she's like, no, a movie theater. And so then a screen comes down. And
so
then
we are inside Tom's
brain,
mind space.
And then she's like, the old school gilded kind, or whatever she said.
Tom's
everything's
theater
suddenly gold and
has
red.
a spattering people in it. She's like, you're all by yourself, and the people disappear. And it's an old theater, and the gilded enough. It's a huge old theater.
Yeah,
and it
pulls back. Yes, and then everything is black. And so all of the gilt just gets painted with black. She's like, the seats are black, and then all the red seats get like painted with black.
And it very much looks like it's being dipped in black paint.
Yeah, it's so great. It's great. And then she's like, there's some blurry words on the screen.
All you can see in this pitch black theater is a white screen. On the white screen, there's a blurriness, and you're getting closer and relaxed, closer and relaxed, closer, and the words come into focus, and they say sleep. It's this big word of sleep on this.
Yeah,
on the
it's
thing.
beautiful. And then he wakes up, and
he wakes up.
He wakes up
panting.
Yeah, it's freaking out.
He's crying. And everyone is around him.
He had something traumatic happen.
Everyone around him is laughing or scared.
And his wife, Maggie, she's like, there's still tears on your cheeks.
And he's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. He doesn't remember. And Lisa's like, he's one of the lucky 8% that can be hypnotized fully. And they talk about how he talked about his bully, all sorts of crazy stuff. And he's like, can we just go home? And I don't feel good.
And the safety pin thing was really freaky. And they're like, how's your hand? We pushed a safety pin all the way through the web of your thumb and told you to bleed on only one side, and you did.
What kind of fucking party?
It's a bad one. It's a real bad party. Lisa, her bullshit is so kind of triggering to me in some ways, because I have had people like this in my life where they're like, oh, don't worry, this is easy. And then suddenly bring up the 8% thing afterwards. And then there's another thing that happens. I'm like, you're not telling the full story all of this time.
No, she's not. So they go home, and they're in bed, and Tom starts to remember his hypnosis. Like, he's like going in and out of sleep, and he's remembering his own hypnosis, like things are flashing.
There's a real cool scene in his dream where he's sitting in the party chair, the chair that he was in, which is just normal.
And it floats towards the
screen.
And
it's floating in the flickering light towards the screen, and he's just sitting there like mesmerized in it. Really
It's pretty cool. So then he and his wife have sex, and he starts to see things while they're having sex, like bad images.
Yeah, and this is the stuff that gives me the most ick. It is like gripping a hardwood floor so much the fingernails pop off, bloody tooth being spit across the floor. Plastic.
Cold. We see lots of flashes
It's a very like rapey, and because he's having sex with Maggie, she's on top.
Yeah.
And it's on the outside, beautiful, fine. It's two people having sex, but he is experiencing it as an assault.
Right. He tells her that he felt like he was being attacked, and so he had to stop.
He has a panic attack.
He does. And so he goes next door to have a drink of water in the bathroom, and then he sees blood in his cup, in his glass. And then he opens his mouth, and he pulls a tooth out.
His own tooth out.
Of his mouth, and it falls in the sink.
And when he looks, the camera goes down to the tooth, and when the camera goes back up to Kevin Bacon's face, everything's normal. His tooth is back. There's no blood in the water.
Didn't happen. So he goes downstairs, and he keeps seeing all these flashes. He sits on the couch. He turns on the TV, and then he looks over, and there's a girl sitting next to him. And I jump scared. It jump scared for me.
It's a good jump scare. In my memory, every time I remember this movie, I think she's more ghastly than she is. Because when you look at her, she's just a young...
She's just a girl, kind of pale.
Pallor, dark circles under her eyes, and like imploring.
Now, this is the girl who was in House, the female doctor.
Oh, it's so funny. I didn't look her up. Why did I not look Samantha up?
I don't know. Why didn't you look
not
her up?
Olivia Wilde, right? But
not Olivia Wilde. The
girl who played Elizabeth Swann in Once Upon a Time?
Yes. I think so.
This is Samantha will get to know her. Now, Samantha has cleverly been hidden.
She was
already.
The one who had the kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I only watched like one season of that show.
Yeah, me too.
Samantha has been cleverly hidden in this movie already before. Outside of the party, as we're zooming into it, there is a tattered, missing poster on the lamppost outside that you probably would only notice on second viewing if you're looking for it. So this movie, again, sets everything up pretty beautifully.
Right, so the ghost is next to him, and she literally says, "You can hear me, can't you?" And then she disappears.
And then disappears. And it's not clear.
The
it's
little
like
boy has been talking to her, or we don't know yet?
It's obviously the little boy.
Yeah.
So Jake is now at the top of the stairs.
It happens right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Jake is just standing at the top of the stairs.
And he's like, "You're awake now, Daddy."
Yeah.
And then Jake,
The fuck is wrong with the
and then
Rosemary's baby child?
touches the side of his head.
Side of his head.
And he's like,
"Don't be afraid of it, Daddy."
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's like, "Yeah, I guess I am awake."
Yeah.
And then he says, I'm just not feeling too well. And he touches the side of Kevin Bacon's temple and goes, "Don't be afraid of it, Daddy." And then just fucks off down the hall. And you're like, what is wrong with this kid? Now, this actor, never worked again. I guess Hollywood,
He's a baby. He's 5 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that he'll ever work again.
It's a 25-year-old movie. It hasn't worked again yet. He hasn't clocked another movie.
Yeah, maybe he didn't like
just
it.
Doesn't want to be an actor, probably.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the next morning, Tom tells Maggie about what happened, and she tells him that the hypnosis obviously made something different. He was acting different, and he needed to call Lisa.
Yeah, what I love about this movie is that no one in this movie is hiding anything. Like, Tom is being like, "Yo,
This happened.
last night was crazy. This happened." And I'm like, freaking out because this, that, and the other thing. And she's just like, "Well, go to a doctor." And he's like, "Can't afford." Like, there's all this back and forth. And he's like, "Then go to Lisa and see if she can help." And she's like, "Lisa fucked up my brain." And she's like, "Well, maybe she can unfuck it."
Yeah. So then he calls Lisa he's a lineman, which means that he sets up telephone lines. And he's on the line.
The
and
cherry
he just,
picker.
Plugs his phone in and calls Lisa.
Like a lineman, omniphone, and calls her from the line.
And I love this part where he's like, he asks her if she said anything to him while he was under hypnosis, and she's like, "Oh, are you asking me that if I gave you a post-hypnotic..." And then he breaks in. He's like, "I am asking you if you gave me a post-hypnotic suggestion." And he's like, "Yeah, I looked it up. I know what I'm talking about."
And she says, "No, I wouldn't ever do that. Plus, it was a harmless one." So she did.
Yeah, and she's like, "It was a harmless one anyway."
She's the worst.
Yeah. So
you stuck a safety pin through his hand, and you're like, "I would never do anything bad to you." I'm like, "What the fuck, lady?"
So basically, she says that she told him that after he woke up, his mind would be open to everything around him.
The whole idea, it was kind of a badly worded double. Like, she says, "You're so close-minded. I wanted you to be more open-minded." So I just said to have a more open mind.
Yeah.
And that has opened. He's
opened his mind.
A transceiver, essentially. Receiver.
Okay, so we're at another scene, and Jake is talking to someone who we can't see again, while Mom is leaving a message for Lisa about babysitting that Friday night. So then Jake tells Mom to call Vanessa and ask about Debbie. And Mom asks him how he knows about Debbie. And he points off camera and says, "Samantha told me." Now, Vanessa is the wife of Frank.
Vanessa's the wife of Frank. Again, I love this scene because it is a kid who's being asked a direct question. No one's hiding anything. She goes, "How did you know to call Debbie?" He's like, "Samantha told me," and points at where the ghost is. And at that moment, Vanessa picks up the phone, so the mom doesn't even goes, "Oh, hey," because obviously she's doing the thing that's more important is talking to her friend than listening to her kid.
Yep.
So it's this perfect little screenplay, like, nope, we're going this way now after we're telling you what's happening. And the movie goes on and no one knows anything else because the parents just stop paying attention to the kid at that moment.
So now we flash to Friday night, and Tom opens the door to the babysitter, Debbie, and as he opens the door and he looks at Debbie, everything flashes
goes red.
Everything is red. And you get this also buzzing kind of noise.
Yeah. And this is just a young, high school girl.
Yeah.
She's got a book.
She was in How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay.
Did you watch that?
No.
No. Okay.
The flashing redness instantly. Now, Tom this whole time is drinking constantly. He seems to be
she was in Gilmore Girls.
Oh,
the evil friend that turned out,
Paris.
The Paris, thank you.
Her name's Liza something.
Yes, it is Liza something.
So in this movie, Tom has been crunching aspirin like candy, been drinking constantly because he's been constantly thirsty since the hypnosis for reasons unknown. And now he's flashing red on this girl, and he's off-put by that.
Yeah.
Now that he's off-put, Debbie's off-put by him. They're both side-eyeing each other like, "Why are you acting so weird?" And he's like, "Why are you making me flash red?" And Maggie, poor Maggie this whole movie, is in between going, "Come on, Tom, we're going to this thing. Let's go," trying to act normal.
So, like, during this time, like, mom's just saying there's this baby monitor, he's asleep if he does this. She's giving the instructions that every time that Tom looks at Debbie, the world flashes red. Like, every time. So they leave Debbie with the baby, and they're walking down the street, and he's seeing the red lights everywhere. Tail lights everywhere.
They have
neon.
They have joined up again on foot with the entire neighborhood.
They're all walking to the high school football game. Yeah.
Frank is walking next to Tom with his stupid fucking ass pocket of booze and is talking about high school football. Because at this point, the wives are walking behind him, and two girls run by, and his wife goes, "Why don't you just lick them when they walk by?"
That's right.
Because he's
always clocking girls.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, Tom is not paying attention to the conversation hardly at all, because every brake light, every cherry on a cop car is causing him to like...
Something's wrong. Warning. Yeah. So at home, the babysitter, she's just reading her book, and the baby monitor nearby is right next to her. And then it basically goes off. Like the breathing. So like basically the baby is just breathing, and then the breathing stops. And so she's clocking the baby monitor. And then he starts to talk.
She just goes, "She's downstairs."
Yeah.
And how terrified for her.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I haven't met her yet.
Yeah. So the babysitter goes up the stairs and opens the door to Jake. And Jake says that Samantha says it's dark where she is. And he tells the babysitter that he talks to her all the time here in my house. So then Debbie basically grabs Jake and runs off.
Debbie has a freak out. She grabs the kid by the shoulder and is like, "You're lying.
You're coming with me.
When did you see Samantha? When did you see her?" And they're like, "You're coming with me," and grabs the kid. Now, this has been going back and forth.
It has, but I wanted to cut
it. Well, so the destination for all the parents are outside this high school football game. This is obviously a little part of the neighborhood. Everyone's about high school football. And it's in the city. It's an urban...
Right, and so there's a metal detectors.
Metal detectors, and it's a brick wall around it. You never even see the field.
No.
But a huge crowd is going up. And Maggie's ahead of Tom, gets almost in, and Tom looks up just before he's getting in. People behind him are like going, "Go, dude, go."
Yeah.
And the Gold Wolves red sign flashes, and he goes, "She's taking him." And he just starts running back home. He just starts
booking it, yeah.
Maggie clocks him running and goes, "What are you doing?"
And
runs
follows
after
him, yeah. So he gets to the house, and Jake is gone, and Tom starts to follow the red, basically. He starts, like, trusting his own instincts.
Like, it's so funny, because he runs to the house, the front door's still open. Maggie gets there, and she's like, he's taking the kid, and runs off. Maggie's like, "Where are you going?" And he goes, "I don't know." And so he just runs, and he looks left and right goes red.
So
and
he follows
he's just following this redness.
And Maggie's just following him. So we actually end up at a train station. He's like, "Jake's in there." And so we get inside, and Debbie had taken Jake because her mom works there.
Real soon, when they get into this busy train station, this is the Lincoln Square station in Chicago. Is it bus or train? It doesn't matter.
It's a train, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake yells out to his dad.
Yeah.
And Debbie and Jake are at a ticket counter, and you think they're going someplace.
Yeah.
There are Chicago cops everywhere, and the most Chicago cops are like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And
right. So there's kind of an altercation now. They get their son back. They drag him out of Debbie's hands, and she's yelling, "Ask them about my sister. Ask them about Samantha."
And at this point, the ticket lady has come out of the booth, and it's like, she's not here to get on a train. She's here because I'm her mom.
Right. So the cop is like talking to them, and she's accusing this couple of taking her sister, and she shows them a picture of her and her sister, and then Tom recognizes the picture, but he doesn't say that he recognized
lies.
it. He does.
Yeah.
We know,
because what are you going to do? Be like, "Oh,
I'm
she's
a
a ghost
Yeah.
from
There's
my
literally a
couch."
scene later where Kevin Bacon's like, "Let's just say this out loud so everyone can hear it."
Yes.
Another thing I love about this movie is that when you start seeing ghosts, you are in kind of a tough spot when it comes to getting help.
So Maggie wants to press charges, but Tom's like, no, it was an accident. It's fine. This is a kid. We'll leave.
We learned from Debbie's mom here a little bit of things. Samantha's the older sibling of Debbie. She disappeared
6 months
She
ago.
ran away 6 months ago, says the mom.
And Debbie's like, no, she
something
disappeared.
happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
And
That was some weird shit they were always doing, like, in the 90s and 80s and
Everyone just
70s.
ran
They're
away.
just like, they ran away. They all ran away.
No.
All these kids ran away. You're like,
they were abducted and killed. That's
like,
what we know now.
Okay. Well, they just ran away. I'm like, what the? Do your fucking job.
Yeah.
So right away, Maggie doesn't recognize Samantha because she doesn't know her. Tom does, and that's when he's like, "I want to cut and run, and Maggie's instantly pissed. But it only takes walking away 20 feet for Tom to be like, that's the girl.
That's the ghost.
So again, he immediately is telling Maggie what is happening.
Yeah.
That's the girl I've
That's
seen.
nice, because in most of these movies, they never, and I'm like...
No, they communicate the whole time.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
I'm like, that's most of the shit where, like, then the marriages have trouble, or then they accuse each other, and I was like, this could all be solved if you just told
to be fair,
them.
like, this marriage does have trouble, but it's not because they're not communicating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very fun. It's like so many movies I go, just tell
Just
her.
tell them.
If I saw a ghost, Lindsay would know immediately.
I would tell John and me, I don't know, it would probably go like, hey, look, I don't know what's happening to me.
Right.
Either I'm having a psychotic break,
Totally possible.
or there is a ghost here. Or both. I don't know what's happening.
Either way, you need to get in on my team.
I need to tell you what's happening in here.
Yeah. So Tom is telling her that that's the girl I saw on the couch. And then he's like, where did you find Debbie anyway? And she's like, well, I couldn't find a sitter. And then Jake said, and then she trails off. And we
there's
realize.
a hard cut to Jake playing in his bed and both the parents standing over him like, this kid's spooky. They're instantly kind of scared because Debbie was in the house in the first place.
Right.
Because
And they're like,
the conversation.
they're asking, like,
with the
where
ghost.
did you hear about Debbie? That kind of stuff. And then Jake just, like, eventually he looks up at them and he's like, don't ask the boy any more questions. Talk to me. And I can't make the voice.
Pretty goofy. It never comes back again.
It never does.
But Kevin, it like sets Tom off, and he's like, "Do that voice again. Do the voice."
He
And
goes
gets
crazy manic.
Incredibly intense about the boy.
So they never come back to the fact that, is the boy possessed?
For that second,
That
maybe?
second is the only time it ever happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy.
They're like, we're never going
Yeah.
to explain that.
So, like, Jake doesn't remember that voice coming out, and Mom's like, I'm taking him downstairs, and we're going to watch cartoons, and Tom is following, and he's still, like, trying to get Jake to, tell me about it. Talk to me through the
This
voice.
is the
Try
point
the
on
big
the
voice.
point on the couch where I saw her. And, he's just like doing it. And Jake finally goes, I don't want to talk about this because it scares Mommy. And then just turns and shuts up.
Yep.
And
Oh, what a sweet boy.
it's a sweet boy, but also I love what the movie does with Maggie eventually. But this is the part of the movie where you're like, this poor woman has now been locked out of something.
Yeah, she has been.
And she's going to suffer because
And
of it.
actually,
she talks
she
about it.
talks about it. So Maggie and Jake are sleeping together upstairs in bed, and Tom is downstairs alone on the couch. He is trying to recreate what happened the first time he saw the ghost, where he, like, grabs the remote, turns on the TV, sits back, looks to the side. Like, he's doing it over and over again, trying to get the ghost to show back up again.
Sighting.
Yeah, look, over and over. So the next day, I guess, or later.
We cut to a giant street party under the L train. Like this fucking...
No, it has been a week because he hasn't been to work for a week.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been a week later. Yeah.
This neighborhood parties all the time. So we cut to this giant street party under the L train. This is the biggest party we've seen so far. There's probably 100 people here. There's like Jake's playing with people. Everyone's kind of paired off and running around. There's, again, the teens in the red car fucking around, telling each other, turn the music up.
Yeah.
And
Tom asks one of his neighbors, Harry, which this is where we actually meet Harry. Like, we kind of met him a little bit at the other party, but this is where we actually, like, get to talk to him. He asks her about Samantha Kozak. He got the name because of Debbie Kozak, the babysitter, right? And then, of course, they're like, oh, you mean the retard girl? And
now this is important.
Yeah.
This is actually important. So this is the character that was at the first party that we didn't really talk about. His very presence at the party pissed Frank off. He's like, why is this fucking guy here?
Yeah.
Get this fucking guy out of here.
He hates this guy.
So now when Tom asks Harry about Samantha Kozak, this character just pops back up and calls her. Well, first, Harry brings his son over. He's like, yeah, that girl disappeared. She ran away.
Well, I mean, he asked his son about her, and she's like, oh, you mean Debbie? And he's like, no, we're talking about Samantha.
We're talking about Samantha. So now one of these red car teens has shown up. This is Harry's son, which will develop more into the plot. But then this asshole character pops back up and goes, oh, yeah, the retard. And Frank has now also joined the conversation. And you can tell that both Frank and Harry are like, why the fuck is this girl being brought up?
See, now you're jumping the gun here because we're not quite where Frank is here yet. So, like,
Okay, well,
there's a point where Tom
Is
asks.
Stephanie mentally challenged?
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
There's a point, I think she might has Asperger's or something like that.
It's very...
She hasn't seemed in
No,
all of the
she's not.
earlier things when she's talked, she hasn't
this is
seemed
the moment
like
we're
she
getting
has
there.
We're
any
getting
of
there.
that. Okay.
Okay, so there's a point also where they ask if he asks the landlord, has Samantha ever been in my house? And he's like, I just bought that house 6 months ago. I have no idea if she's ever been in that house.
It's just been renovated. You're the first people to live in that house.
First person he's rented it to. Yeah. Because it's obviously a 100-year-old house. So it's the first person he's rented it to since he purchased it. So meanwhile, Maggie and Lisa are talking about how Tom hasn't left the couch in a week.
Yeah.
And he used up all his sick time. And then Jake and Tom whisper when she's not in the room. They're like having conversations. She's out of the club. She feels really bad. And she's like crying. Yeah.
Every time they'll be whispering when she walks into the room, they just shut up immediately. Yeah. And it's making her feel like kind of a stranger in her own house.
So then Frank joins the group of boys with his own son talking about his football stats. Now this is Adam. And Tom asks him, both of them, if they know Samantha. And that guy also calls her a retard. The boy, right?
No.
Oh.
The asshole just repeats it.
Oh, same guy. Like, God, he's such an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
and that's what sets Frank off. And he uses that attacking of this guy to deflect from answering the question.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's important about this is you can see something building. Someone knows something in this group. Yeah. And when that guy shows up and says the R word again, Frank is just like, don't fucking say that word. He like avenges the movie and of that bad
He
word.
is obviously overreacting, but he's also not answering Tom's question.
And in that moment when he's like, get the fuck out of here, don't say that word, and the asshole's going like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Someone spills a beer, and then a whole like tussle breaks out.
Yeah, and then the wife, Vanessa, she's like, they always ruin it.
Someone always has to ruin the party.
You're acting like it's Boston with your accents.
I don't care.
Okay, have you ever watched New Girl?
Yes, we've seen all of New Girl.
There's the scene where Nick comes to Jess's like adult fiction writing class and he adopts the name of Julius Pepperwood. And he's like, from Chicago. I like pizza. It's a deep dish because I'm from Chicago. Julius Pepperwood. How you doing? That's what you remind me. I think you're doing Julius Pepperwood.
So thank you. Where is Julius Pepperwood from?
Chicago.
Not fucking Boston.
From Chicago. I like deep dish.
If all of a sudden I'm reminded her of Julius Pepperwood, deep dish in Chicago.
Now do a Boston accent.
They're the same thing.
The Harvard Yard. I'm by the harbor.
I mean, I grew up, it's a Midwestern place. It's right above us. And I grew up with like SNL doing Da Bears.
Yeah.
I think I try to default to Chicago more than I would Boston.
Because it's easier. We hear it more. Okay. So now we've left the party. And Tom is waking up from a nap on the couch, and he puts on a boot, and he realizes he only has one, so he looks under the couch and gets another boot, and he puts it on, and he goes upstairs, and there's a note on the mirror that says
Maggie and Jake went to a park.
Yeah, they went to the park. And then he goes downstairs, and Frank is standing in the middle of his dining room, and
in kind of a daze.
Yeah, and he's like, Frank, what are you doing here? And he's like, they're gonna kill you, Tommy, and Maggie with you.
They're gonna kill you, Tommy. You and Maggie both.
You and Maggie both. And then Frank goes outside
and then he just like zombies out and sits down on the front step. And Tom's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why are you saying this to me?
And he walks out and he's like, are you okay, dude?
And then he says, this is a decent neighborhood.
He's like, yeah, this can't happen. This is a decent neighborhood. He's like, look, is your wife home?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check if your wife is home.
And Frank is just not responding to Tom in any fashion.
So we have this long kind of uneasy walk where...
We see a German Shepherd. We see the mail lady.
And then he knocks on the front door.
He knocks on the front door, and the son is like, come in.
As a viewer, the whole time you're going, what the fuck is this?
Who knows? And he's like, hey, do you want to see what I have behind my back?
Yeah, this is Adam, Frank's son. He's a high schooler.
And he pulls out a revolver. And Tom is like, hey, that makes me nervous.
Dude, I don't like those things. Just put it down. He's like, then this will make you real nervous.
And he points it right at him.
And then takes it back, points it at his own rib cage.
And pulls the trigger.
And pulls the trigger.
And then wide-eyed smears blood all over his face, like, ah! And then he wakes up.
And then Tom wakes up.
What?
Now, Tom wakes up and is like, what the fuck was that dream?
Yeah.
And he puts on his boot and he goes,
don't be under the couch. Don't be under the couch.
And he can't find his other boot. And he's like, don't be under there. Don't be under there. And he puts his head under there. There's the boot. He goes, oh boy.
So then he runs upstairs and the note is on the mirror. It says that they went to the park.
Downstairs, no Frank.
So then there's no Frank, but he decides to go outside and visit Frank's house anyway. And he sees the same dog, the same mail lady on the way, and then he starts to run. And then we hear a gunshot.
A gunshot goes off before he gets to the house.
And starts yelling for Adam to open the door, but he doesn't, so he throws a chair at the window and he breaks in. And
he sees Adam's suicide attempt.
Yeah, he shot himself, and he's just yelling for help. And he's like, am I asleep? So we cut to a scene where we see Adam's parents running towards an ambulance.
It's a cool shot that's kind of up and above the whole neighborhood, of course, because this neighborhood's fucking in everyone's pocket all the time is out. The parents are coming home from where their works as Adam is being put on a stretcher and they're yelling, is he alive?
Yeah.
Is he alive?
Is he alive?
We don't know.
So obviously, Tom had a prophetic vision where he was able to help this boy survive potentially.
Well, he would have bled out alone for sure.
He would have bled out alone.
If you're trying to commit suicide, why would you shoot yourself in the rib and not the head?
Exactly. The rib cage is such a weird place to shoot yourself,
He's a dumb kid and trying to shoot himself in the heart. Or he didn't really want to die, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? This kid is, we will see later,
You never see this kid again?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do in the flashback. Sorry.
Yes, we absolutely do see this kid again. Anyway, his buddy Kurt is running across. So the other teenager is running to the ambulance as well. So everyone's there. And we kind of pull back and see Tom, Maggie, and Jake, all three of them on the front stoop watching all this shit happen. And Maggie's like, I'm taking Jake for a walk. This is too much.
So they're playing copycat, and Jake is the leader. It's beautiful. And Jake and...
It's a long, wide shot against a wall. And Jake is doing swirls and walking backwards, and Maggie is mimicking, and they're both just doing these beautiful little walkie mother-son play dance.
And then Jake turns around and says, "Oh, hello there." And then Maggie turns around and realizes that there's a
hello.
death shroud statue above her face.
And what is beyond the wall is a cemetery.
So then Jake hears this music, and he's like, "Music! It's beautiful!" And he runs off into the cemetery.
And it is bagpipes playing Amazing Grace.
Yeah. And then there's like a line of cops. Obviously, it's a funeral for a cop.
And
Jake is run away from his mom, and Jake gets there, and he kind of stops when he sees what's going on. And then one of the cops looks at him. He starts to wave at him.
Yeah, it's a long, just see their backs, all in uniform, all saluting while Amazing Grace plays.
Sensed Jake. He didn't hear.
And
Jake made no noise.
And this one big cop turns and does a little clever acknowledgement. And then Maggie comes up and is like, "Hey, Jake, I don't think we're supposed to be here."
Yeah.
And they go and play in the cemetery proper.
Right. And when the funeral ends, we can see that this cop is following Maggie and Jake, the one that waved at him. And then he catches up to them at some grave where they're looking at stones. And Mom asks the cop if they're not supposed to be there. And he's like, "No, it's fine." And he's like, "The boy's got the eyes on him, doesn't he? The X-ray."
Yeah, so this is a real Dick Halloran. This is the scene where it's like the boy's got the shining.
Yeah.
And at first, Maggie's like, "If we're fine to be here, have a good day, because you're weirding me out by being here." And then he got the eyes on him, and she's just like...
And she kind of nods, yes. And he's like, "But you don't have it."
But you don't have it, so it must be Daddy.
And she nods again. And then he pulls out a card, and he's like, "Tell Daddy to come see me later tonight at this address.
He might learn something."
And then waves, "Bye, Jake."
And then he goes, "Bye, Jake." And Jake goes, "Bye, Neil."
And they've never been introduced.
and Jake smiles real big and looks at Maggie and goes, "His name is Neil." It's such a great scene.
So great. It's wonderful. I literally said, "Oh, that's so great," out loud.
It's so great. It's the two deliveries of that this man does, because later on we'll get there. But I love this little simple
scene. It is just
scene.
like The Shining. It is just like where the guy who's the caretaker at the...
It's Scatman Carruthers playing Dick Halloran.
Yeah, and he's talking to the little boy. Yeah, it's just the same thing.
Yeah, you got the shine on him. Mm-hmm. You got the eyes on it. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So then Tom is on the couch, and he's picking notes out on the guitar, and Jake is coloring. And then Jake decides to turn around and correct Dad's notes, and he literally like moves Dad's hands, and he plucks, and he moves Dad's hands.
He moves them to the right frets.
Yeah. And then Tom is like, "I know that song. What is that song? What is that song?"
Now, originally, this has been a sticking point to me, because what musician doesn't know what this song is? But you're right.
He got there in a different manner.
There's a couple different reasons why, one of which I thought the Painted Black by the Rolling Stones, which is what this is all over the trailer, but it's not in the movie at all.
Till the very end.
Except it's a cover.
Oh, is it?
The song is a garbage post-punk cover of Painted Black. I don't think the actual song's in this at all. Okay. So no wonder he couldn't recognize it.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Okay, so Maggie has come downstairs, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going to the movies. I'm not going to be home late." Nobody is paying any fucking attention to her. She's like, "Okay, bye, Mom," and bye, Maggie, and just leaves. But as she's walking out the door, she stops and pulls out a knife.
Yeah, it's a utility blade that...
It's a good 5-inch
blade.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, it's
It's not like a clicky razor blade. It's out of Tom's lineman's...
It is a pocket knife. A good-sized pocket knife.
And puts that in her purse.
And she takes the knife, and she goes to kind of a bad part of town looking for Neil.
It's a little trickier part of town.
She finds him at a place, like, in the alley.
The address is, like, an occult shop called the Third Eye.
Yeah.
And she tries to ask for
Chinese
Neil,
lady,
and she's Korean, and she starts very angrily giving directions in Korean,
yeah,
and which sends her around the corner down this dark fucking alley.
She's down this alley, and she knocks on the door, and this old man with an oxygen tank opens it, and she's like, I'm here to talk to Neil. And he's like, wait here. And he goes and gets Neil. And as Neil's coming up, people are yelling in the background, who the fuck is she?
I love this scene.
Who the fuck is she?
So,
tell her to go away.
Neil now has come up, no more copy uniform, in a, like...
He's wearing a caftan.
Okay. I was going to say, never mind.
It is an African-style caftan.
Okay.
Like dashiki?
Yes, thank you. I didn't know that
did
word.
Did we both do that at the same time?
Yes, you did.
I think it's a dashiki.
A white man?
No, he is not a white man.
Okay. I was like, hold on.
And I was like, what the fuck? I told Dad to come, not you. And she's like, he won't come here because that's just not his thing, and I won't leave. So you better... And behind them, there's a whole group of shadowy figures going to be like, this isn't a fucking zoo, man. Shut the fucking door. And he's just like... Tom won't come because he's paranoid. He's like, these people are paranoid too. And he shuts the door and takes her out to the alleyway.
Yeah. So she's like, you have to tell me what's going on. So Neil tells her that Tom is a receiver now. And everything is coming in. At first he asks, like, how did it happen?
What happened?
Like, was there a car wreck? Did the death of a child? And
did he kill somebody?
Yeah.
He's so compassionate.
Yeah.
But something incredibly traumatizing happened.
Which for me at first, actually, it kind of like derailed me because, like, okay, we're at the cemetery and he was like, well, if mom doesn't have it, then dad has it and it's genetic. But then here in the alley now, it is something happened to dad to make it happen. So, like, why?
Something happened to dad to open it.
So why at the cemetery was it genetic? In the alley, it's no longer genetic.
I wouldn't say genetic.
Maybe he always had it.
He always had it.
But that's why Lisa was like,
likely.
you're so close-minded.
Well, that's just it. Jake potentially will have it forever big, or something will happen while he closes doors.
He closes his doors.
Basically, how I always read it is Tom had the power and
he stopped.
Never developed it well. Well, what he says here is my second favorite beautiful thing is that Tom is a receiver. He's walking around in a...
Yeah, no, I wrote it all down.
I know, but I'm doing
it. Okay.
He's walking around in a tunnel with a flashlight that keeps flickering on and off. So he keeps getting glimpses of it and not the whole thing. And mom goes, Jake has it too. And he goes, yeah, much better flashlight.
Yeah, but
I
you
love
cut
that
over
line.
all the rest of it where, like, he can't stop. He can't even slow it down. He can't even figure it out.
Well, we know that inherently. We know it's driving him crazy.
All right. So, and Jake has a much better flashlight.
I love that Jake has a much better flashlight.
And he smiles when he says that.
Yeah, it's just
like,
real beautiful and big.
Yeah, no, he's like, no, Jake is special. So he asks, what does it want? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, the ghost. And she's like, well, it hasn't asked for anything. And Neil says that he probably has. He just wasn't listening.
And it is, the longer he doesn't do what this ghost wants, the more impatient it's getting.
And it's not going away. So we flash.
So now we set up the idea that Samantha's going to get dangerous.
Yes. So now we're at home and mom is running a bath. And in her room, Jake is watching some sort of mummy show.
He's watching The Mummy.
He's watching The Mummy. And she's like, no more mummy. Here's some cartoons.
That scares you.
Yeah, that scares you right before bed. It gives
and then
you
she
puts
on some goddamn fucking...
Teletubby type thing. Yeah.
Which is scarier than The Mummy. It's not a cartoon. It's like a live action puppet.
Right. And so that as mom is undressing, Samantha is now, the ghost is sitting on the edge of the tub and she's making the bath freezing.
Yeah, so the whole time, we're doing that scary movie mirror trick where the medicine cabinet opens up and closes and the ghost is right behind you.
Yeah.
And it scares us, but it doesn't scare her because she can't see this
see
ghost.
it. Yeah.
So Samantha now sits on the tub and just touches the water and makes it freezing cold.
Yeah.
All the heat goes out of it.
Right, and then Samantha shows up inside the TV screen where Jake's watching, and he's like, no. And then changes it to Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And then...
the kid and Samantha keep fighting over getting it back to this kids show to Night of the Living Dead being played.
And meanwhile, mom has gone back to try to get into the bath, but she found it was freezing, so she gets dressed and goes downstairs. And also, meanwhile, Tom
is in the corner.
has decided to try to figure out what this fucking song is, and he's gone pulling down CDs off count.
He's got giant headphones on, and he's just going through CD, trying to figure out what the song is.
And mom is like, hey, can you light the pilot light on that water heater? I think it went out again because my water's cold. And he's not paying attention. So he doesn't know.
Maybe I'll do it myself.
She does it herself. Okay, this reminded me of my grandmother's basement where you pulled the giant, 3x4 opening off the ground and crawled down the ladder to get into the basement.
So she walks to the kitchen, pulls the rug
with
in the center of the kitchen
asbestos tiles on top.
And clicks up this giant basement panel. You're like, oh, welcome. This is a character now. This basement's a character.
Oh, yeah. No, it was great. It was just like a flashback to the Vermont house. Yeah. Like, seriously. I mean, so John would know what I'm talking about.
Samantha is, for sure. She's definitely buried.
Somewhere.
Well, yeah.
So
She's actually, you're right, standing right at the bottom of these stairs, which also...
So she grabs the matches and she climbs down the ladder and she goes downstairs and Samantha's downstairs. And then we flash to Jake and she changed the channel on Jake again. And he's just like, no. And he turns the channel back. So then she goes to light the pilot light and it's already lit. There's nothing wrong with the water heater.
And at that same moment, Samantha has just reached up and touched the light bulb and it goes dark.
It goes dark.
Which gets Maggie's to stand up real quick in the dark and she smacks her head on like a shelf and it just splits her forehead open.
Right. So then Jake has... The channel has changed again, and Jake can no longer change it back. The remote doesn't work, so he gets off the bed to go do it manually on the television, and it won't change. So he unplugs it, stays on.
It's funny, because the whole time that he's fighting with Samantha over the TV, he's obstinate. He's like, no, I said no.
Yeah.
And then when he pulls the plug, he looks at the TV and looks at the plug.
This is the first time that Jake got scared.
It's the first time he's scared.
This is the first time Jake's gotten scared.
Yeah.
He was not ever scared.
Before, he was just sort of, it's almost fighting with a sibling to be like,
it's fighting with a playmate.
I want to watch this. And then he's like, oh no.
And he's like, oh no, this has escalated to a place that I don't really understand.
So then we go to Tom and he's listening to music and his headphones on and his eyes shut. And then he opens his eyes and he's in the middle of a vision.
He's in the same place in the house, but the house is
different.
in the past. It's
the house is empty.
plastic,
It's draped in plastic.
in the midst of being renovated.
There's a stereo on the mantle. It's freezing.
And his breath comes out.
Samantha's orange coat is laying on the hearth.
It's like an
and
orange
Samantha
parka
is
thing.
standing in the open doorway of the front door.
In full ghost form, so she's still... And she's doing that shitty, jittery step.
Sure. And they slowly walk toward each other, holding out their hands, like one on top of the other, like that.
They don't touch
and
yet.
They don't touch. And then Tom starts to not breathe.
He's like...
He can't breathe.
Yeah, he's seizing up.
And he's held in thrall, basically, until we see Maggie's hands magically come into this vision. And she's like, Tom, breathe.
So it's very cool. So the whole vision is keyed in blue. So it's like everything has a blue tint on it. And so when Maggie comes bleeding out of the basement, she looks and Tom is just standing there reaching out to nothing in the warm yellows of the current house. Yeah. And so her arms reach into the blue keyed thing and pull Tom out of this vision.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So then we see Debbie outside stapling a missing poster sign.
And real quick, Tom has collapsed on the ground and Maggie's holding him and Tom just like clutches her.
Yeah, he does. He's scared.
Yeah.
And so now both boys are scared.
Bleeding out of her head.
Yes,
still.
she is still bleeding out of her head.
This woman... Okay, and this is something we didn't get specific at the big street party. Lisa's like, you need to man up and do this. You're not going to be the first woman to hold an insane family together. Yeah. Which is so much burden and baggage, but it's true. You know, this poor bleeding woman who's trying to just get a goddamn bath is like, have these both little psychopaths. Earlier, she's like, I hope it's a girl because I'm getting tired of all these balls around the house, when she's talking about toys. Yeah. But it's a double-sided meaning there.
Yeah, absolutely. So then Tom now has shown up to Lisa's house and he's knocking on the door and Lisa lets him in and he's like, I need you to close this door in my brain. Just make it go away. And like she has a friend over. They recently got high. Like she has to kick the friend out.
This is clearly a date.
Definitely.
This is clearly a date that he's interrupted and she only speaks Spanish and she goes on this like all Spanish tirade.
Yeah, she does.
And Lisa's apologizing in Spanish and
calls
Tom
him
just
crazy.
Like, gracias on her way out.
Very Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So we're back trying to get hypnotized. We're back in the theater and it's starting to drift towards the screen like it did in the beginning. But he's like, I'm not alone in here. And she's like, no. You are alone. There's nobody here. And he's like, I'm not alone. And we see the back of Samantha's head.
So the view is on the white screen, but it's Tom's brain. So the camera is now just looking at the back of Samantha's head, getting closer and closer to Sam.
He's like, I can't breathe. He starts choking. He's like, I can't breathe. And then we start having flashes of what happened to her. Yeah. Like the broken nail and the tooth and the plastic and the assault. Yeah. And then the letters on the screen that are illegible start to become legible. And then it says...
And then it goes, dig. Where sleep used to happen, dig was. So Tom is basically attacked by a plastic-covered Samantha at this point. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, this is a vision. Lisa... not only didn't fix it, but basically made it worse.
But he got the message this time. Well, so Lisa asks, what happened? And he's like, I guess I'm supposed to dig.
It's so funny because he gets up out of it and he goes to a refrigerator and grabs a beer and just starts guzzling it. And Lisa's standing there is like, are you okay? Do you want a beer? And he's just like halfway through it.
Okay, so the next day, Mom has just gotten home from the grocery store. She obviously stopped on my home from work. She's in nursing scrubs.
She's nursing scrubs. She's carrying 2 bags of groceries by herself into this goddamn house.
She goes into the kitchen. She's like, I'm not cleaning up that mess. There's mud all over the kitchen floor.
Everything that was in the refrigerator is on the countertop, and when she opens up the fridge...
It's only full of cardboard orange juice containers.
Because that is all Tom is guzzling now. He's just as thirsty for orange juice, which I'm like...
It must have been Samantha's favorite thing.
Okay.
That's what I did.
You have to guess.
Yeah. So then we go outside, and the boys are digging in the backyard. Both of them are digging holes. So Maggie is trying to rein in the crazy and tries to get him to come inside, and they have a big fight. The ordinary thing comes up. It's not important.
There's a couple things that I love about this. The backyard's totally fucked.
Oh, yeah. Holes
and the
everywhere.
kid is off to one side helping Dad dig.
He has one of those yellow Tyco trucks, a big dump truck. My brother had one of those when we were little.
This is our obligatory shirtless Kevin Bacon scenes. He's just 0% body fat and looking hot as fuck. And he's digging. And he's going full Danny Torrance from The Shining. He's just like, I'm digging. I don't know what you don't understand, Maggie. I'm fucking digging. I'm supposed to dig. He's like, don't worry, it's not over there.
It's not over there.
He's basically saying, I'm still protecting our son. He's digging in a safe space.
Yeah.
And they have a big blowout. The kid is caught in the middle of it. It's that whole thing of like watching your parents argue that traumatizes
He's like, don't
you
yell. And then he throws his Tyco truck.
So a fax has come in.
While she came in the door.
When she came in the door.
A real fax.
Yeah.
Because, I grew up with a fax machine in my house, but there's no way you did.
No, but why did a nurse and a lineman, why do they have a fax machine?
I don't know.
For the movie. That was probably the height of technology for a lineman. It's a telephone-based piece of technology.
Who knows? I mean, we had one because my parents worked. My dad worked from home.
Yeah, I was like, how many personal faxes?
Dude, we used to play with that fax machine. Photocopies.
I don't know. But like I said, if you're a lineman, you have telephone-based technology that you don't necessarily need, but you have access to it. So why not?
This sounds like what your dad would do.
The only time I had to use a fax machine was when I worked at the bank. We were still using them. I would sometimes have to fax a document.
That was in the 2000s.
The first time I had to do it, I was like, the fuck is this? You gotta...
As a person who is about to have major surgery and is being put into the medical establishment, faxes are the lifeblood of medical shit to this day.
Yeah.
So there is still a place for facsimile machines.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Maggie has come back in and is going to finally...
She's sitting at the table and she's reading her fax, and Tom comes in and he pours 2 glasses of OJ and he gives one to her, which she's ignoring, and he does this cute little scene where he's like looking at the orange juice and looking at her. He's trying to get her attention without saying anything. Like, hey, you're going to drink... There's an orange juice for you.
He skulls his orange juice and then keeps eyeing her orange juice and is finally like, you gonna drink that? And then just takes it.
Yeah.
This is Tom's way. They have a blowout, and then Tom, in order to make up, just kind of like makes himself available.
Yeah.
To be like, can we start a conversation?
But she holds out until he apologizes. And then he apologizes and asks what the note is, and he's like, it's from my brother Steve. And Grandma is going back into the hospital, and Tom goes, no, she's...
Oh, no, she's actually...
And then he stops talking.
And then the phone rings.
And she's like, what? What is going on? What do you know? And then the phone starts ringing, and Tom just stands up and walks out the room. And Maggie picks up the phone, and her grandma had died. She comes outside, and he's like, I'm sorry.
When she walks outside, he is already hugging her.
Yeah, and he's like, you knew. Yeah. How'd you know? He
he immediately fucks up again because she's like, the funeral's on Sunday.
We leave right now.
He's like, oh, well, I'm kind of in the middle of something. He's like, do you really want me to go to the funeral? And she's like, do I want you to go to my grandmother's funeral? And he's like, I'm kind of doing something here.
I feel like you and I could have potentially had this conversation.
100%. 25 and 29, you and me. Maybe.
Well, also, did he tell her?
We didn't meet till I was 29.
That's what I'm saying. A younger.
She knows what he's digging for, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
She does. Absolutely. Okay. She knows.
And Tom, during the digging scene, has this fun thing. He's like, it's not a question of what I'm digging for. Obviously, Maggie, it's a question of where.
But for her, the death of her grandmother is more important than whatever mystery he's looking for, because she isn't part of this club. She's been ostracized.
There is a murdered body in the yard.
We don't know that. I don't know to what degree she's buying the whole thing, and I don't know to what degree. The dig thing is brand new. The dig thing is less than 24 hours old. And she's come home from work, pregnant, with groceries, dead grandmother, and going, this
her house tore up.
Is obviously more important than your ghost story.
Right.
So...
Well, and to be fair, he says a bunch of shit out there, basically calls their life ordinary and not enough. And yeah.
He's like this.
I just think she should be more worried because also what was that guy's name in the alley? Neil. He was like, they asked for something.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally been like, this is danger if you do not do. So now she's come home to see her husband.
But also, does life go on hold until I find this mystery? I mean, like, do I solve it?
If something is going to torture your family and try to, like, hurt you and harm you.
No, if that was the issue, she would have moved out.
The movie
Who says the ghost wouldn't follow?
Very good at putting Maggie's plight not up front, in the background. If you're watching this movie right, you're watching this woman suffer and be left out of her family. And
I'm not saying she should be in a good mood, but I just the fact that she seems sort of shocked right now, you're like.
Also,
I mean, to be fair, like, I could literally be like the guy. I would come home to my backyard dug up and be like, okay, well, whatever he's doing, he's gonna fix it. It might not be today, but it's fucking getting fixed. Well, but I would also, like, walk away from that situation because there's a reason why it's happening, and either I have to dig, which I don't want to do, or I'm going to leave.
You would absolutely leave me to my ghost.
If in the interim my fucking grandmother died, we would be stopping what we were doing and you be coming.
I would never help dig. I'd just be like.
There's two.
You're making a fucking mess here.
Exactly. But you and I are like, we're like that. Our spouses are nuts, and we just let them be nuts, and then we walk. Except for I feel like you're the more nuts one.
I'm the nuts one. Here. Okay, there's two things happening here that are important. So a grandmother's funeral is not going to wait for you. It's a one-of-a-kind thing.
Yeah.
So she's going to want to be there. She actually says, "This woman practically raised me."
Yeah.
That's the line in the movie. Does. And then on the other hand, this is a really convenient plot point to make the third act.
And yes, and to be fair, and she also does something I would have done.
So we basically hard cut to Jake in the backseat of Maggie's car pulling away.
Yes.
And dirty Kevin Bacon being left to his devices at this house.
He's also out of his mind right now and so distracted by this. I wouldn't want him with me at the funeral.
No.
I'd be like, there's no world in where I would be like, oh, well, we'll just skip it. I'd be like, I'm going. You stay here, you fucking Looney Tunes, and have this fucking done by the time I get back.
There's no world in which this character would go either. Wild Horses wouldn't drag him away from this because he says this is the most important thing he's ever done in his life.
He did say that.
Whoops.
Yeah, he did say that. That's exactly my response. I said, whoops.
As a metaphor for the male drive to be special, which lives very deep in the center of my heart my whole life and I've struggled with forever. I really identify with this, and it is the source of greatness and utter destruction.
Sure.
And you don't know what it is.
Right. Okay, so Tom has dug up the entire backyard, and he's like got a hose. He's using the hose to soften the dirt for when he's digging, right? So, but the
digging mud is fucking dreadful.
I think he's just like spraying it a little bit just to soften it a little. So the hose won't get to this one corner, so he unhooks the hose and he mooks it to, I guess, from one side of the yard to another side of the yard.
It's funny because when I was watching this, I went, "Oh, look at this fancy asshole has two outside."
Yeah, I know. We only have one. Yeah,
water spigots. So but that second water spigot
doesn't work. So then he like is running, mumbling towards the house about his rental, and he kicks a bucket, and it literally breaks a window.
Which
and
is an accident.
That was 100% a real life accident.
He did not mean to break this real life house's window, and they were just like, keep rolling. Well, he does. One of his grumbling is like $800 a month, and I can't get the water to work. And I'm like, $800 a month.
It was
$19.99 was sweet.
Yeah, $99.
A whole ass house in Chicago.
Yeah, a whole house in Chicago. So he's inside the house, and he goes into the basement to open a water valve, and then he realizes there's more places to dig.
Yeah, that's what the whole time I was like, you should have started in the basement, you dumbass.
So, it says to dig. You could dig in a yard. You can't dig in a basement.
You got to chisel that shit out.
It cuts to a pickaxe on concrete, and then he immediately goes, tools.
Yeah.
He goes to the hardware store, and he's looking around and clocks it, and it's a jackhammer.
Right.
So when he pulls up outside of the house, he's this dirty, insane dude pulling out a jackhammer
and an
air
compressor.
Yeah,
huge air compressor.
And the neighbors are like,
what is he doing?
Including the wife of Frank.
Right, Frank's wife, but also like Harry across the street, he hears manic screaming because he also starts jackhammering and manically screaming.
Yeah. Once the jackhammer on the concrete floor starts happening, Harry is doing something. He looks at the house and goes, It's
a rented house. So So later that night, Maggie calls home to talk to him, and he tells her, "Hey, no, man, there's been no more digging. Everything's back to normal."
Yeah, and she's calling from a big mansion that is filled with people.
It's like she went to Connecticut or something. Oh no,
it's just an hour away.
It's just an hour away. Where would that be? I guess somewhere in
Anywhere
Illinois.
in Illinois.
Yeah,
and it's filled with people. So there's clearly the extended family after the funeral have come to this post-funeral party type thing.
Yeah, and she's like, at this time of night, it'll only take you an hour to get here, you know, and he's like, well, I can't take the work truck, you know. She's like, well, then I'll come get you. And he's like, no, don't do that. And she's like, I'm just going to pull up and honk. And then she hangs up, and he's like trying to like, no, don't do that. And
he hangs up, and because he's saying, everything's fine now, everything's way better. And he's like, no, and hangs up and goes, oh, well, and he walks through the utterly decimated house.
Yeah.
Floorboards are ripped up.
Yeah, he went crazy.
And picks shit
Mud
back
is
up.
everywhere.
Mud is everywhere. Goes back downstairs to the concrete foundation of the basement, gone, and now there's dirt.
Right. So then back at the house, she's like, come on, Jake, let's go. And he's like, I don't want to go. I'm scared of the feathers. And
she's like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. I'm just scared of the feathers.
I'm just scared of the feathers. And then she's like, okay. And her sister Lisa, she's like, I'll watch him. So she goes to leave, and then Jake runs and grabs her purse, and he's like, you need this.
Yeah.
Don't forget this. Yeah.
And a storm is rumbling.
Yeah.
Like there's a coming in, lightning is flashing in.
Right. So Tom goes back downstairs, and we're in the basement, and he's whacking at the floor, and he accidentally whacks the stone fireplace behind him.
This pisses me off so much. It's meant to be funny, but he has spent all this time and money digging up giant holes in the backyard, jackhammering up a floor, and he goes tink behind him on a wall, and the stone goes clock.
The stones just crumble.
I'm saying clock so much in this episode. I just realized that in different contexts. So he just like accidentally pickaxes over his shoulder, and a kind of rock facade comes out because it's brick behind.
Yeah. So then he's like, oh. And he starts pulling it apart, and then behind the stones is brick, and he starts pulling it all apart.
Behind the brick is plastic.
And then behind the brick is plastic.
And behind the plastic
so he gets out a knife, and then he finds the orange coat.
And
then he pulls off the orange coat. Is a skeleton.
Is a desiccated corpse, missing tooth, glasses, and bracelets. Yeah. And it's not like gore. It's just sad.
It's sad.
Yeah. It's just
so then
Samantha, I will say, you misled him with the dig.
Yeah, you should have been like a basement. That's not too many more letters.
It's a movie. Okay.
She
so
said
then
dig.
He actually reaches and grabs her hand. And then
which is what she wanted to do in the flashback earlier.
Yeah.
And the full flashback happens.
So now we're starting at the beginning. Samantha is outside.
We go through his eye and out of Sam's eye. She's standing on the sidewalk outside
this house. And she's outside. It's winter. It's snowing. And then a boy is outside of this house, Adam, and the other kid, Kurt, and they yell, hey, come here. I want to show you something. And she's like, you want to show me something? And he's like, yeah, come. We want to show you something. And she's real skeptical, but she goes.
And this is when we're going to talk about the R word thing. She might be
autistic. She might be Asperger's.
She's giving no attitude. You want to show me something. She's more childlike. Like, you want to show me something? Like, she's almost like,
dude,
I don't understand.
Michael, like, if some boy did that to me when I was 16, I'd be like having the exact same response. Like, what the fuck? You want to show me something? You don't talk to me.
Well, I don't know where you are on the spectrum either. So, I don't know, it seems to be vast.
So she's like, what are you going to show me? And he's like, hey, it's a surprise. And so the boys get her inside. And the boys are drinking. They're like, hey, drink this.
St. Patrick's Day. They wish her a happy St. Patrick's Day. It's freezing. So
she's like, I don't think I should be here. And he's like, no, we have to show you the surprise.
All of the things are in the movie are here. It's blue coated. It's freezing cold. Breath is happening. Everything in this renovated house is draped in plastic. Mm-hmm. And the boombox on the mantle is sitting there. They're like, I want to be your friend. And she's like, you can kiss me if you want. Yeah. So she's like...
And Kurt takes off her coat.
Interactions that
and he tells her she's so hot.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you can kiss me if you want to. And then
it's gross and
then as he's kissing her, he's hurting her. He's like really like after
he's groping at her and he's like...
And like digging at her kissing. Neck. Like, I don't know. Like, and here's the thing that really... Come on, baby. How about a little helmet wash?
Yeah,
what
I don't like it.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means suck my dick, babe.
What? I don't understand helmet wash.
It's the top of the penis is the helmet, and the wash is your mouth.
Fine.
See, this is why the spectrum conversation had just a second ago. I have watched this movie many, many times. I'm sure that was in poor taste.
I did send you a meme of a movie yesterday with another girl on the spectrum, so yes.
I responded to it.
Yes, you did. Okay. You said it was very close.
Yeah.
Well, we were of the generation when we weren't getting diagnosed.
No,
they were just
absolutely
like,
not.
Exactly.
they were just like, oh, those girls are.
mechanisms, and we survived.
Those girls are. They're funny. They're a little weird, but they're funny. Yeah, they're just quirky. It's just what makes me quirky.
Well, and this young woman clearly
It's what makes me mentally ill.
what a version of what she's here for. She knows that kissing is maybe on the table.
Yeah.
Maybe she's interested in kissing, but it immediately goes to 11. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want this.
Right,
And the boy just
He's going to
attacks
take
her.
it. So he pushes her to the ground, and this is where she loses her tooth.
Now, real quick, this is important that Frank's kid, Adam, is watching, scared, and sick.
Yeah.
He's throwing up from
thrown
the
up,
alcohol and everything. He is not good, but definitely not the aggressor,
He's
which
not,
kind of
but he's
mirrors his
still
father.
an audience member and a
Yeah,
participant.
you're like, fucking do something.
As culpable as
Absolutely.
anyone. He's as much of a fucking villain as anyone, but
Absolutely.
he's not this. So when her head goes down, yes, the tooth shoots out of her mouth.
And she's screaming and she's fighting and she breaks the nail.
The nail's on the floor.
And then Adam goes and turns the music up louder to cover the screaming.
Ugh.
What is playing is a cover of Painted Black,
Yeah.
which is a song that
And then
is in Tom's
she's
head.
screaming so much, Kurt's like, find something to cover her face. And Adam grabs plastic. And then Adam holds the plastic over her face while Kurt rapes the girl, Samantha.
Did not think that the rape happened.
100% the rape happened.
Okay.
I mean, they held her down long enough for a rape to happen, and she suffocated.
I mean, he has, okay.
So,
Because he gets up completely clothed and is this is super gross, and I've never seen a dead
it's a
body
1999 movie. It's 100%. They are just
Okay,
leading us
fair
to the rape happened. So then it fades to black because we are with Samantha as the screen just slowly gets blacker and blacker, and they're talking.
And Adam is panicking while
What are we gonna do?
Kurt is just going like, this is gross. He's just being a psychopath.
Well, he's like, "What'd you do?" He's blaming it immediately on Adam. Yeah. So Tom wakes from the vision, and he goes upstairs, and we, as the audience member, see that Kurt was spying through the window.
Yeah.
And so Tom goes outside and over to Frank's house.
This is a crazy idea.
So do
It is.
their parents know?
That's what we're finding out.
Right now. Also, a big part of a part of the flashback scene was that Samantha has ripped a chunk of hair out of one of the boys' hands, and it's still clutched in
It's still in her
hand.
hand.
So for whatever reason,
she got.
I mean, not for whatever. And Tom says the reason. He goes to Frank's house and says, I know what happened to Samantha.
I want you...
Your boy was involved. I want you to hear it from me before I call the cops.
Yeah, and Frank
Call the cops first.
Well,
Fuck.
Obviously.
And Frank is dressed in the red turtleneck that he was dressed in with the previous vision where Frank told him that they were going to kill him. So
he's like, I want to show you something. And stupidly, Frank goes, yeah, I'll come with you. I'll be right back.
let me grab something. And he's like...
But she's grabbing a gun.
He grabbed a coat. He grabbed a coat, and it's pouring outside. He is walking now to Tom's house with a coat just slung over his arm, and it's pouring outside. And I'm like, why'd you grab a coat to carry?
Hey, Tom, you're doing this in the wrong order.
Right. So then Tom takes Frank to the downstairs and shows him the body, and Frank says there's no proof. And he's like, well, actually, there's the hair in her hand. And then Frank starts... What we were supposed to do. These kids had everything to live for. What were we supposed to do?
Frank breaks down.
So did Samantha.
Well, this is not a good man.
And he's like, I have been living with this for 6 months. What the fuck can you say to me that's going to make it better?
And he's just crying, and he's like, get the fuck out of here, Tom. Points the gun out, Tom scrambles up, and as he just gets out of the top, a gunshot goes off downstairs.
And then...
So he just killed himself?
So then we hear knocking on the door. Harry and Kurt are at the door, and they try to, get in, but Harry, forces his way in. He's like, no, I don't want you to come in right now. I'm busy.
So this scene is 100% more menacing.
It is very
Harry
menacing.
and his son, Kurt, are like, hey, Tom, what's up, buddy? We've got to have a little talk. We're going to talk inside. Hey, Kurt, go ahead and shut the door. And it's just like mafia vibe.
Yeah.
Like, Tom, you know you're about to be killed by these
And
men.
then Harry's like,
Well, Harry very well could have been like, this is my house.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, what have you done to my house?
And
What the fuck?
That's exactly what he does. He walks in, he's like, hey, Tom, I think we got a problem here.
And
Not in a million years did I think you'd be fucking wrecking this place.
Yeah, and he's like, and then so Tom's like, well, there was a leak, and I needed to turn off the water main, but I couldn't get to it. So I dug up I dug, and then he throws a bottle of alcohol at his son. He's like, drink up, son. And then he's like, the water main doesn't go under the house.
And Tom goes,
Well, I know
I know
that
now. It's a funny little
It is.
joke in the middle of a very tense
I didn't
scene.
say I was a good repairman.
I mean, yeah.
So then Harry pulls a gun, and Kurt grabs a fireplace poker and hits Tom on the back.
Tom goes down.
Yeah, so Tom's down, and he's like, get him on the rug, and they pull him onto the rug, and then Harry's got to pillow and he's holding it to his head
He
with
says
a gun.
like his son is a little rough. He's like, don't look at him, roll him over.
Yeah.
So this is like cop shit, you know?
It is like, pull the pillow here, we're going to silence it, and I'm going to have the gun. And then we hear honking. Now, we remember Maggie was coming.
Maggie has pulled up outside.
Maggie!
Yep, we're going to...
So Kurt gets spooked and backs off
Yep.
from holding the pillow or whatever's going on. And Maggie starts towards the house, but then the lights go off all
This
of a
is
sudden.
one of the most subtle, beautiful, creepy things. She is going to pick up her husband who's not answering her car horn. She gets out and walks up to her own fucking house and the porch light goes off.
Yeah.
And she goes, no. Heads back to her car, opens her purse, and gets
a knife.
That knife.
That
so we
big
remember
knife.
that boy made sure she had her purse because
She
that
needs
boy
that
knows that
knife.
knife is inside.
Yeah.
And
That's
then when
smart.
she's walking back up, the interior lights go off.
Yeah, more lights
and
go
I'm
off.
just like, girl,
Yeah,
you're
come
walking
on.
into a fucking...
You are.
But it's
But
not a
she's
runaway
kind of a
situation.
badass.
She's a
kind of
badass now.
So she goes inside the house and she realizes the light switch wasn't working. She's like, oh, fuck. So then she goes to reach for a lamp and she gets it on right as she's grabbed from behind and tossed on the ground, like right next to Tom. And then Tom...
hits kid Kurt, and then Maggie opens knife and does it right in the foot of Harry.
Yeah.
So now the two of them are united, kicking a little ass here.
Yes. And then Kurt stands up with a poker or a knife. I don't know what he has in his hands.
They're
And
both
he's raised it above his
still
head.
fucked. These guys, even though they're kicking ass, are at a disadvantage.
They're still at a disadvantage. And then, all of a sudden, Kurt is boom, 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 right through the back. He gets shot.
Frank has come out of the basement and is fucking shooting both Kurt
and... then it's first he shoots Kurt, and then he shoots Harry, and then as Harry's falling, his gun goes off through the ceiling.
One last time. Through the ceiling.
Through the floorboards, through the pillow of the little boy's bedroom.
And feathers float everywhere down. And we cut back to a panting Tom and Maggie, and there is a zombified Frank who says,
they were going to kill you, Tommy. You and Maggie both.
And he walks out and sits down in a daze on the stoop.
He's like, murder.
It's the exact thing from the other part of the vision.
And he's like, goes, this is a decent neighborhood.
This is a decent neighborhood. We couldn't let this happen.
Mm-hmm. And then at that point, we see Samantha's ghost leave.
And while Frank is saying this on the stoop, Tom looks up in his own window, sees the ghost of Sam, who then is on the sidewalk.
Put her coat back on.
And walks off.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
So what did Frank shoot down there before?
We don't know.
We don't know.
It was a shitty misdirect in the movie, because the whole time I've seen this movie a bunch of times, I'm like, what did he? Why did he? In my mind, I just he was going to kill himself and got frustrated and shot the gun and is a coward.
And just was sitting there waiting to
just like his own
get enough
son
courage to maybe shoot himself. And then he was like, no, they're going to die upstairs.
Him and his son have a lot of parallels in this as being the number two to a vicious person.
Mm-hmm.
And like his son didn't have the courage to actually kill himself, shot himself in the ribs, maybe Frank is down there doing the same thing.
Potentially,
pulled the trigger in a way that wasn't final.
Yeah.
And then he got the courage to come up and finish this job when they attacked.
So we have a scene where we see Samantha's funeral, and we see that Tom and Maggie are packing up and moving away with the U-Haul.
So the whole screen is filled up with just the side of a moving
U-Haul.
truck.
Yeah.
And Maggie and Tom are crossing, moving boxes, and they take time to touch each other.
Yeah, they do. They just reach and then they give me your hand.
Yeah, do this.
And they do this.
Oh, you guys.
It's a really you and me type of thing to do.
It is, absolutely. So at the end of the movie, it's nice because it's like they survived it and they're stronger for it. It didn't ruin their marriage.
Yeah, you think it's real nice.
Yeah. So they're driving away, and increasingly we hear whispers and whispers and more.
Jake
and
is
then
in the back
and then they're
looking
hounding
alone,
Jake.
and he's watching all these houses go by.
Jake.
And out of every house is a goddamn ghost going. And some are screaming, and some are menacing, and Jake. And the poor little kid just puts his hands over his ears, and we go to black.
Yeah.
With Poe's Hello playing.
Hello, hello, hello.
Very nice. That was Stir of Echoes.
Out there.
I like that. That was a fun story.
It was a good movie.
This movie,
Ghosts and a murder mystery.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
it.
And it's nothing complicated. It's that old as time ghost story where it's like, find my bones and put me to rest. Yeah. That's all it is. But the journey there is very, very pretty. Now, we do have a phenomenon we've talked about called podcast eyes. We watch things with podcast eyes now. There are moments in this movie, particularly with these teenage actors. Not Samantha, I think, because she's supposed to be playing someone who's not understood by the community. I don't even know if she's on this. I think this community maybe just doesn't know what the fuck this weird girl is.
We didn't talk about Asperger's and very little about autism in any night.
But also, this is an incredibly intolerant, insular neighborhood. That's kind of the whole point of the movie is that...
I was talking to John about it a while ago. I was like... Do you remember when we were in like high school and middle school and there were always just kids where you're like, that kid's weird?
Yeah.
Nobody hangs out with them because they're weird. Dude. Or like, don't be, that kid's so strange. That kid's, and now that I'm older and looking back on it, I'm like, they were just all on the spectrum and they just weren't getting any help. And we were just like, that one's weird.
They didn't get help. We didn't get help. None of us did.
That's the age-old boomer bullshit is they're like, when I was a kid, we didn't have there were no such thing as gays, trans, or spectrum people. I'm like, yeah, they were undiagnosed, struggling children.
They just didn't tell you. They were like, there are no gay people. And I was like, they didn't tell you because it wasn't safe.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and you either figured out your coping mechanisms or you didn't. And that's just where it is.
Now they're just everywhere. It must be because they eat too much McDonald's and watch screen time. I'm like, no, you fucking asshole. It's just... There's got to be a way to open your mind a little bit to the idea that they've been here afraid the whole time.
Yeah.
And we're just getting... a lexicon. We're just getting
because now we're not just like, oh, what a weirdo. What if they're like, oh, there's something happening there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I do look back at my younger self and I'm like, God, all those people I didn't help.
No, don't Schindler's List.
No, don't worry about it. I mean, like
that might have been a little too.
It wasn't our help. Come on, Jamie. There's no way that you and I could have helped them because we had our own issues.
It's not our responsibility as children to pick up the slack for all these fucking errant adults around us.
All those kids that didn't get help.
Now that we're adults, we can have that responsibility.
Yeah.
So I'm going to connect this with the podcast eyes thing that I was saying earlier. That I think that in this viewing with the podcast eyes, I feel like some of the acting in this is uneven. Kevin Bacon is constantly great. Almost everyone's great. I think the two teenage boys are kind of wonky, but they're young.
They're young, yeah.
And they were put in the unenviable position to act in a scene that is abhorrent.
They're so small. Yeah,
so
it was abhorrent.
It's two boys doing something abhorrent that they are unqualified to like bring the emotion to or the villainy to.
Because rightful to them, they were very young and they couldn't tap into being murderous rapists. Yeah. What? Good kids.
So in the most harrowing scene of the movie, there is kind of a amateurishness to it that makes it unsettling in a way that doesn't add, it takes away from the movie. Yeah. Anyway, that's my smallest criticism of this movie that I have always loved. A little forgotten thing that I think people should check out around Halloween. It's a beautiful little ghost story.
It is. It's beautiful. I agree. I really enjoyed this movie, always. I have seen it so many times over the last 25 years.
And with the 90s being back full in effect, you want to see some chef kiss 90s.
And it doesn't age poorly at all. It does not. The only thing that was out of the era of right now is the fax. If you don't know what a fax is, then...
I love that. You know, my one hang up is a shitty technology
they're representing. It just seems so strange to me that they would have a personal fax machine.
It is weird that they had a personal fax machine.
Okay, go back about
we had
25 minutes in the episode to why I explain why his fax machine is valid in this place. But until you do that, listen to this possible question from John we have.
Do you think the waffle fry can be improved upon?
I love that we finally get out of a question from John
that isn't
about something murder related or existential. All waffle
his argument is that they're so good at, which this goes back to we love sauce, that they're so good at like picking up the sauce.
Then I'm gonna have to disagree with John because the only times I eat waffle fries is when you go to Chick-fil-A and you get your chicken sandwich or whatever and your waffle fries, and then you eat all of the waffle fries.
I'm gonna bleep that.
I was holding my tongue because I knew Jamie would.
You eat all the waffle fries before you get home without any sauce.
I'm
sorry.
Unfortunately,
let me take a moment to love this triangle here. Lindsay does not politicize her chicken. So she goes wherever the fuck she wants when she wants a thing. Jamie has
And by the way, I went to Chick-fil-A with my brother a year ago.
He knows the rules.
Also, as a villain, throwing people under the bus.
We will
Jamie
talk about that as soon as I get out of the studio.
has standards that morally she will not cross, and I don't go to fucking Chick-fil-A because it's too filled with garbage people all the time, and I'm not waiting in line for mediocre chicken.
To be fair, that year ago was probably the last time I went to Chick-fil-A. No, it wasn't even a year ago.
But
sorry, it was January. How long ago was that?
my
6 months.
big
6
take
months? Okay.
is potatoes are my favorite food. I recently have realized that potatoes are my favorite food. I asked Lindsay one day when I was eating them, like, are potatoes my favorite food? She's like, yeah, dummy. You've always liked potatoes, and I like them in all the forms.
Yeah, it's like every time you ask, Michael, do you want rice or potatoes? Do you want noodles or potatoes?
Everything's potatoes.
Do you want zucchini
We're
or
gonna
potatoes?
go
They can be mashed.
Always
They
can be baked.
potatoes.
Full
deep
Hobbit
fried?
here. Full Hobbit. Boil them, mash them, put them in a stew. Potatoes.
I don't like any of that Hobbit
you
shit
do.
because I don't.
But
I don't
you
listen
love
or watch
boiled
it.
and mashed and fried and...
My last name is. We don't do last names on this anymore.
No, we don't. Bleep it out.
I have real fucked up feet and I'm small. So all of that is true. So I think waffle fries could only be improved by being a better way to make a potato. Because waffle fries are not my
I loved waffle fries because of all the crispy edges. Like, all of it. But I don't care about sauce.
This is crazy. I like waffle fries because you can make essentially nachos out of them.
Oh, yeah. That's
And
a
you
good
can put
idea.
all your nacho toppings on it because they're just like flat and you can.
Does that mean that you make
That's
your
good.
own waffle fries?
Oh no, that's probably also why waffle fries are like a treat because you go someplace else and they've like sliced them like they have. I don't have the equipment here to slice up
Isn't it
waffle
just like
fries.
a blade that you the special blade?
Yeah, it's a.
blade.
Well,
turn,
I don't
blade,
know. I know
turn.
there's a way to make them crinkle with a blade, but
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you make them?
You
'Cause
do
you
the
gotta
blade and then you
crisscross 'em.
rotate the potato 90 degrees. and
This is
blade.
already too much work.
It's a special treat that you only get when you go out.
I like
not to
JoJo's.
not to
I like
homophobic chicken
Jillian's.
restaurants.
Oh, you
I
like any potato.
I like potatoes. So
I wish
to
I liked potatoes
John's
as much as you do.
question,
Is there anything that can be improved upon?
to improve specifically a waffle fry. No, waffle fries are a perfectly legitimate delivery system of starchiness and goodness into your body. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, waffle fries are great.
I agree. Yeah, it's great.
Yay, waffle fries. If John doesn't shut the fuck up.
Shut up!
On that note, you have just been visited by another episode of the Creature Podcast. I want to thank our producer, Jamie. She is in the walls at cherrystreetstudios.com or cherry_street_studios on Instagram. Thank you to Kevin MacLeod for all of our music. Our art is made by myself and Lindsay. You get all of our episodes and all of our merch, and you can join our secret psychic society at creaturepop.com. Until next time, dig, John.